Hey everybody, thanks for coming to our channel. We are about to take off on a long northeastern road trip and just figured we'd give you a few of our tips and things to do before you go out on the road. Plan at the level you're comfortable with. If you are comfortable with just having directions on your phone and you're just going to go each day and play it by ear, do it. If you want more detail than that, do that. Where do you think we are?
We love the detail.
Yep.
And my husband is the master in creating Excel sheets, locations where we're staying, their addresses, contact persons, what hookups we have available, etc. And that is really helpful when you're on the road and you work while you're on the road, or you just don't want to have to remap the whole route. You already have it written down. You see if you have to give an ETA to the host that's awaiting you, or if you can just pull in because nobody cares. So that's great, but if you're more of the spontaneous kind, then just roll how you love it.
Yeah, and we have some resources to use while you're traveling so that you're traveling safely, not getting involved with low-hanging overhangs from railroad tracks or underpasses, things like that. We did use some of those resources in pre-planning. When we pre-planned the trip, I think we used Google Maps. There's nothing wrong with Google Maps as far as getting an idea of the route.
But what we really found super helpful and beneficial for planning for overpasses, bridges, etc., was RV parking.
About that as we go, we also used RV Share because their trip design is getting better and better. So we worked with that a bit, and just our own experience and things like that to pre-plan. Okay, what else did we do that was important before we left?
If you have animals at home that are not coming with you, or property that needs taken care of, mail, any of that plans, have someone ready that'll take care of that for you, and let them know how long it's going to be and when you're going to need them.
Yeah, and we don't have animals, but we have birds. And they do need to be fed. No, we're a bird sanctuary, so we really truly are.
That's true.
And the birds need to be fed.
That's true.
Have your coach ready to go.
Oh yeah.
It's things like even looking at your tires. Got it off of Facebook Marketplace. Brand new from a private owner that never used it. It will give you an alarm if it goes over a set amount that you set. It tells you your pressure and your temperature, each tire on the vehicle. If you have a tow dolly, you can set that up as well. It works really well. So this is our Vayer 400P. It is definitely heavy duty and beefy enough to be able to handle a large RV with large tires. Hooks up to the battery, just lickety split, and we'll come along the back here. And of course, the first one I had to deal with is totally here at the back of the coach. But there's enough air hose to make it all the way to the back, and the system works very well. We are letting our mechanics make that decision. Yes, they're in business to sell tires, but they're also in business to give good advice, that if they don't give good advice and something happens on the trip, then they're potentially liable. So we trust our RV mechanic who does the mechanical part of it. We trust our house mechanics who do the coach part of it. And I would just say every trip, have a safety check on your vehicle and do what you need to do. That way you avoid the bigger bills that would get piled on. It's easier to replace 2 tires every 4 or 5 years than to replace 6 in 1 year.
That's right.
So,
yep.
So, what else?
Predetermine how long you want to drive every day.
Oh.
Because that'll determine how far you'll get in a day.
Yes.
So with the puppies and wanting to give them plenty of breaks during the day to go do their business, we knew that, let's say, a 3-hour drive would turn into 5 hours. So calculate that down to how many miles can you go, the speed that you like to go, or the speed limit. How many miles is that during that time frame, during the hours that you want to drive? And then that'll show you where you'll end up, and that's where you can start looking for a campground or a harvest host.
Right, and word to wise about that with trip planning. Google will typically tell you a drive time based on 60 to 70 miles an hour.
Yes.
So keep in mind about that one. Then RV Share, you can put in your desired driving speed, which I put in 55 for our coach. Well, here's reality. When we actually finally do the mileage, we base it on 45.
Yeah.
We take the mileage and divide it by 45 miles an hour, and that tells us how long it's going to take.
Just in case there's a slowdown
we just pad it on that side. Now, reasons why you don't want to drive, and we're going to tell you, we've driven long days, and once in a while you're going to have them. We've done 9 hours.
We've done 12 hours.
And hopefully never do that again, but it could happen. But here's the upside of driving a shorter distance. When you get to your destination, it's most likely going to be daylight. That's important. You get lost at night. You can't see things in the road, especially if you're going to a campground or driveways, gravel, whatever. You have so much better vision in the light. Second thing, you get someplace, you've got to set up your coach, turn on.
These requires attention.
Think about
focus.
You're touching a 50 amp service of electricity. I don't want to do that on total fatigue. So anyway, we're learning this as we go. And that's part of our pre-planning.
Or if you arrive in pitch black and you auto level, and then the next morning you wake up and your tires are off the ground because you didn't know how far you
Rookie mistakes for us, for sure. That was a couple of years ago, but that happened. Okay, other things ahead of time. Decide what you want to see.
Sorry, folks, we're closed for 2 weeks to clean and repair America's favorite family fun park.
Sorry, folks, park's closed. The moose out front should have told you. Well, nobody notified this office of anything.
Well, I'm notifying you.
I'm afraid I'm going to need a little more than that, sir.
Okie dokie.
Absolutely make a list of the things that you want to see. This trip for us, the first thing we booked was not the first stop. It was Yorktown, because we wanted to visit the battlefield, and we had reasons to be in that area. Give yourself plenty of time to book. We use Harvest Host primarily, and we try to be, typically most Harvest Hosts will give you 90 days out to make your bookings. However, if you're doing a campground or a national park or a state park, 6 months, a year, book far out. So, and just make a list of the places that you want to see, and then you can fill in your stops. Be list makers. It sounds overrated. It sounds like not necessary, but do checklists. Make a checklist of things that need to happen with your coach before you pull out of off your own pad or out of storage. That you're not trying to take off with the jacks down.
So that's not packing. That is like have a departure list.
Yep, and arrival.
And have an arrival list of specifically things that you're going to do with your coach, meaning you are going to take your slides in before you pull your jacks up. You're going to have your awning in before you're going to drive anywhere, which you're not going to go anywhere anyway if the awning is out.
But it's the point of the whole thing.
But have an order as to what needs to happen before you can leave your campground or once you arrive a camp spot or you arrive.
At the end of the trip, it's probably all automatic. You know exactly what you need to do. You really don't need a checklist. But if you are going maybe once or twice a year on these trips, think of the last time you were getting ready to go. It's 6 months ago. I don't remember much about 6 weeks ago, let alone 6 months ago. So have checklists made that help you leave properly and arrive properly. Plan your meals. Know what food you need. Know what utensils you need to bring. This will keep you from taking too much.
But here's for our spontaneous folks. If you just kind of like to plan it just a couple of days at a time, use delivery services like Walmart Plus.
Yep.
That can deliver groceries to anywhere
we've used
you
them all over the country.
We are planners, so we plan for minimum 1 week of meals at a time, if not more. But once we run out, we're just like, either we stop at a Walmart and we pick up, or we're just like, yo, we're here, can you bring this and this to us?
That lowers the stress level of trying to shop in an unfamiliar store. I mean, you're on vacation, you don't want to be having the stress of that.
Oh, and then one last one, I think, for trip prep. Give yourself enough time to get prepped. So let's say you leave on a Friday, you probably want to start loading the RV on a Monday at the latest.
If you can.
Because if you can, because if you just kind of pack, the night before, that guarantees extra stress for your departure day.
Yeah, the night before we left, we went out to dinner with friends. We were packed, we were ready to go. So the next day, all we had to do was basically just get in the RV and do our departure checklist. And we treated that as any other stop, and we left and got out in plenty of time. Thank you for watching this video. We have so many more in the channel, so take a look. All kinds of topics. Like, subscribe, share. We'd like to build our viewership. We've learned from other RVers, and that's why we're here, is just to pass on information.
That's it.
That's it. Bye. See you soon.